baby. Morad Fiki, how's it going? Today is Wednesday, February 23rd. Today's a fantastic day to be in real estate. I was looking at some of the numbers across the nation, and real estate values have been rising quite rapidly this year, especially due to the inflation. There's about 7% inflation, which when there tends to be inflation, that also has an increase in real estate values. So that's been pretty awesome and pretty exciting. And it's just a great time. Real estate year over year has been a great asset class because you're investing in a hard asset, something you can actually reach out and touch, unlike a paper asset or a crypto asset, which, I still haven't been able to put my hands on Bitcoin or anything else. But let's turn over to the viewers and just see what everyone's saying. My friend Israel, how's it going, man? He said, yes, sir. I know Israel's doing a lot of real estate investing. He served our country honorably in the U.S. Army and Special Forces, and now he's just making a killing in Houston real estate, in Greater Houston real estate. Great to see you on here, brother. Great to see how you're doing. I appreciate it. From someone says from Birmingham, Alabama. What is up, man? I love Birmingham. Love Birmingham. I've been to Birmingham a few times. Actually, when I was in the U.S. Marines, I was stationed in Alabama, and I think it was Fort McClellan, Alabama. It's been a while, but I love Alabama. Got mad love for H-Town, and I got mad love for Alabama. Thank you for checking in with me. I appreciate it. Go Army. Yes, sir. Absolutely. So we're having a great time today. We're going to discuss we're going to do a little recap of what we've discussed thus far. We're going to discuss a few. I know there were some questions about wholesaling and no money down strategies in real estate. There are some of those strategies, so we're going to touch a little bit on that, and then we're going to start discussing multifamily apartment investing. This is my favorite investment class, multifamily apartment investing. And why is multifamily apartment investing my favorite? Because when you find a way to make money while you're sleeping, that is how true wealth is created, right? So you got some of the wealthiest people in the world, Warren Buffett, Elon Musk. In fact, Warren Buffett said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, then you will work until you die. And that is absolutely correct. And, Warren Buffett, he owns a ton of stocks, owns a ton of companies, and I know what he's looking for. He's looking for companies that produce cash flow. Companies that produce cash flow while he sleeps. That way he could take that cash flow and reinvest it. So whether it's apartment complexes or companies that produce cash flow, that's what you're looking for, is cash flow. And that means assets that produce cash day in and day out and produce cash while you sleep. And apartment investing, multifamily apartment investing does exactly that. And not just that, but also the tax advantages. And we'll go deeper into that. I'll discuss a little bit of that. But the tax advantages that multifamily apartment investments make is just unmatched. I've never seen anything that gives such significant tax advantages. So it's kind of like double dipping because you got the cash flow and you got the tax advantages. I love that. So let's keep going. Israel says scale, baby. Scale. Yes, we're going to scale. And when you're making enough cash flow to surpass your living expenses, now you're in a position of power because you can actually work if you want to work. You don't have to work. If you love what you do and you want to work because you enjoy working and enjoy working on investing, then that's where power comes into play. So I really love that. But yeah, let's go ahead and dig right in. Let me pull this up. I'm going to get y'all going here, and we're going to jump right into day 3. Super excited to have y'all. So let me see. There we go. This is our explosive growth 5-day challenge. We are on day 3, and I thank you for being here with me. It is always a pleasure to be of service to you. So let's keep going. We're going to give our disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor or an attorney or a CPA. I'm a licensed real estate agent and a real estate investor, and we're going to discuss my own personal results and experiences. I cannot guarantee any future result or any future return on your investment strategy. There are many external and internal factors when it comes to real estate investing, and whether or not you decide to become a real estate investor is a personal choice. And any real estate investment you make, or any investment you make, is a personal investment decision. You must do your own due diligence, and you must do a extensive amount of research before you make any investment decision. You may not get any positive, you may or may not get any positive results. And as with any investment, you could lose some or all of your investment. So real estate investing is risky, and should you decide to invest, you invest at your own risk. And with that, we'll move on to the next topic. And I want to talk about having greatness. Like, greatness is within you and within each and every one of us. And quite often we have not even tapped into the powerful greatness that you have within you. So here's another question I want you to ask yourself. It's, what if you don't even know what you're capable of? And that is something that is true. That is something that I think about. What if you don't even know what you're capable of? And the biggest thing when you take on something new is, can I even do this? And the answer is yes, absolutely you could do this. But with that comes knowledge. There comes knowledge, and then the applied use of knowledge. You have to learn these concepts and learn what many, many, many wealthy investors have been doing for years, and model those actions. But the first step is taking action. You've got to take action. If you don't even take action, then you're going to get the same result that you've always gotten. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. That's just not realistic. So I'm going to tell you right now that you absolutely have greatness within you. And quite often we've been brainwashed over the years to stray away from that greatness. You can achieve so many incredible things, but you've got to take action. You've got to get uncomfortable. You've got to change your direction, and you've got to move forward on a path of excellence. Excellence and greatness is within you. I promise you that. And I will tell you, you also don't even know what you're capable of doing. So with that, we're going to go to our word of the day. Today is faith. Faith, I will say something even bigger than that. Faith is having belief in yourself when you don't even know what the end result is, or you don't even know if you've ever done X. You've never done this. And so, yeah, when you haven't done something, it's like, I don't know if I could do this. But having faith is saying, you know what? I believe in myself and I can do this. I can do this. I can make real estate investments. I can put money to work for me. And I can be very successful when it comes to real estate investing. And that's having faith. Having faith is when you don't see the entire path. I believe Dr. Martin Luther King said, put one foot in front of the other. You don't have to see the entire path. You only need to look and see, what is my next step? And then what is my next step? And then what is my next step? And then what is my next step? Anybody who's built anything absolutely incredible did not see the entire path, especially when you're doing something new. You don't know the path. But you know what? You just need to take that next step. Take the first step, and then the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step. And you will find the path. So let me see if we have any comments. Well, Israel says, I'm a limited partner. LP is a limited partner. on over 800 units. Yes, I love to hear that. And that means you, sir, are getting some passive cash flow. I love that. You know what? You know what I love most about passive cash flow is that you made an investment. Like my friend Israel, he invested in over 800 units, and now these units are paying him every single month. Whether or not he gets out of bed, they're paying him, right? They're going to pay him whether or not he gets out of bed for the most part. Given, again, I don't know what is the exact parameters of this real estate investment he made, but I'm pretty sure he knows what he's doing. He made some sound investments. They're going to pay him every single month, whether or not he got out of bed. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that amazing? And he could still work on his other deals. He could still work on his active investments. But those passive investments are going to pay him every single month, whether or not he gets out of bed. I love that. You know, the other thing about multifamily cash flowing investing is that, you know, besides the tax advantages, which we're going to talk about later, is that, you know, what he can continue to work on his active investing, and which that is a hustle, that is a constant grind, and he can take that cash that he's making from those and put it to work for him in multifamily passive cash flow investing. I love that. So somebody says, yes, keep the momentum going. Thank you. I appreciate that. We're going to keep it going. And so, you know, I really enjoy doing this with y'all. So let's look at day 3. Day 3, we're going to talk about our investment strategies. Let's do a quick recap and discuss there were a few questions about yesterday's, a few questions about how to get started also in real estate investing with zero money or credit. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that before we move on. You know, wholesaling real estate is a zero money down investment strategy. And that's what I talked about a little bit yesterday. But again, just outlining that, wholesaling is also selling your contract or your right to purchase a piece of property. That means you would put a property under contract, and then I'm going to take this contract, I'm going to turn around to Joe Smith. I'm going to say, I'm selling you my right to purchase that property. I'm selling you this contract. So Joe Smith is going to take that contract and step in my place. And instead of Morad Fiki buying the property, Joe Smith is going to purchase that. Now, why would I do that? For a number of reasons. Maybe I don't want to do that deal. Maybe that's not an area I want to invest in. Maybe I got a lot going on right now. And I'm just, you know what? If you pay me a fee for my right to buy that property, you can have it. And I can move on to the next deal. Remember, in real estate investing, we have an abundant mindset. An abundant mindset, meaning there are infinite opportunities out there. So for whatever reason, I got a lot going on right now. Maybe I don't want to do that deal. And I'm okay sometimes, if, again, it depends on the circumstance, but I'm okay taking a fee right now instead of having to go through and navigate that entire transaction and get paid 90 days from now or 120 days from now. And of course, I'd be making a lot more, but I'm also taking all the risk. I got to close on that property. I got to do the renovations. I got to do the rehab. I got to put it on the market. I got to find an end buyer, which I'm good at that and I can do that. But maybe I'm going to take a fee right now and move on. And that's a great reason why I would wholesale. Driving for dollars, we discussed some of that, finding rundown properties, abandoned properties, getting contact with the owner or the heirs, the people who inherited the property, and helping them liquidate an asset that they have no interest in. That's a great way to get started with zero money or credit. Skip tracing them, that means you got to find them. And that's the hardest part of it, is finding them. Where do you find these people? There's a ton of different methods that we can use to find people, and we can go over that in deeper on another day. We can go deeper on that. So again, now we're going into the investment strategy. Real quick, let's see before we continue. Let's see if we have any questions. Okay, so going into the investment strategy, you know, we're looking at maybe start all over. Going to investment strategy, fix and flip versus buy and hold. When we're looking at multifamily real estate investing, that is a buy and hold strategy. That is a strategy where I'm looking to purchase real estate and I'm holding it for a long term, but it's cash flowing. So again, there's different, fix and flip is a quick flip where I'm going to make a lump sum for my investment and taking on the risk and renovating this house, and I get a lump sum, and that's great. But once I'm done, I got to move on to something else. If I don't have another deal waiting for me or something else, then I'm going to be twiddling my thumbs, right? Because I'm getting a lump sum, but that's not a cash flowing property that's paying me every single month. Is one better than the other? It really depends on what's your strategy and what you want to do. And maybe you do both. They have different strategies for different times and different investments. Also, you want to look at the area you're investing in. There might be an area where, hey, this is a highly appraising area where the property values are appraising and increasing in values rapidly. And that'd be a great area to hold. Because if I can hold on to a few years, I can sell at a significant higher profit than if I sell now. Whereas in the suburbs, in the outskirts of Houston, where the property values don't rise as quickly, maybe I don't want to hold that in that area. It's better to liquidate now. The Houston heat map, it better indicates the property values rising. We'll look at the Houston heat map tomorrow. I just wanted to bring that up, and that's where you can see where property values rise quicker. So we'll discuss those. Also, your investment goals. Your investment goals are going to determine whether the fix and flip or the buy and hold strategy makes more sense for you and your family at this point in time. Also, why invest in multifamily versus building a rental portfolio? Some people say, look, I'm going to buy a house a year, and in 10 years, I got 10 houses. That's great. But in multifamily, I can close on one property and have 75 doors all paying us. Now, the multifamily are going to be a lot more expensive than the rental houses. So these are different strategies. If on the multifamily side, you might have to align yourself with a syndicator or somebody who's syndicating these deals and putting them together. Somebody who's syndicating and amassing massive amounts of apartment complexes is very costly. And so we might have to syndicate, meaning putting together a group of investors. And there are SEC regulations with this. And you need to talk to an SEC attorney or someone who's well-versed in apartment syndications to get involved in multifamily, because there are significant rules and regulations when you get into multifamily investing. Property management. When you have a rental portfolio, you need a property manager quite often. Whereas, when you have a certain number of apartments and we're looking at 60 units or more, you have 60 units, they quite often can substantiate having on-site property management. And that's what I'm looking for when I have a multifamily apartment invest. I want on-site property management who can handle the day-to-day operations, collecting rents, evictions, maintaining the properties, dealing with fixing toilets, roof leaks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I want on-site property management that's going to deal with that on a day-to-day basis, and the investors are not going to be burdened with the day-to-day property management. Building wealth versus immediate cash flow. I talked about that a little bit. And when we're looking at the fix and flip investment strategy, as far as immediate cash flow, immediate cash lump sum payments, that's a great, we're involved in new construction and fix and flips. And that's where we're looking for lump sum immediate cash payments. Whereas building wealth for the long term is more into the multifamily apartment investing. So let's take it to some questions. That was a lot of material. Let's just see where we're at. So somebody's asking, how do you determine if the profit is higher fixing and flipping or buying and holding? That's a great question. So basically, fixing and flipping is going to be lump sum profits. And you also have to look at how much are you investing? Depending on how much money you're investing is going to determine the ROI. How much are we expecting to get a return at the end of the investment, and how much are we investing? If we are making a $30,000 profit from a $100,000 investment, that's a 30% ROI, return on investment. Now, we also want to look, how long does it take for that investment to liquidate and materialize? If I'm in and out within 90 days, I make a 30% investment on my money, a 30% return on my investment in 90 days. Now, that's actually, you got to multiply that by 4 to annualize that, because there are 4 90-day periods in a year. So if I make a 30% ROI from a $100,000 investment, but it only happens in 90 days, really, that's a 120% ROI. That's great. Now, the difference is when you're fixing flipping, I'm going to have to spend a ton of time on that deal, because I have to go check in on that. I got to see, what are the contractors doing? I got to be all over that. And so that is a very massively time-intensive real estate investment. Whereas on a multifamily deal, I can invest cash and I'm just collecting mailbox money. Every single month, I'm getting paid and I don't have to do nearly anything. If I'm a limited partner, like my friend Israel, if I'm a limited partner and I am investing passively, that investment is just paying me every single month. The general partners are overseeing the investment and making sure that investment is doing a great job and providing a great return for their investors. So you have to have a value on your time. What is your time worth, if anything? So you have to have a value on your time and know that, with certain investments, you are going to put a significant amount of more time onto those investments. We have another question here. Is hiring a property manager necessary if I don't have a lot of units? Great question. And generally, so if you're investing in a single family rental portfolio, meaning you're buying a house here, a house there, when you get started, you're probably not going to have enough cash flow to invest in a property manager, because the one door or the 2 doors, when you have 2 houses and then you get to 3 houses, those 3 houses do not produce enough cash flow for you to have a property manager. And so when you get started, guess who? If you don't have a property manager, guess who's the property manager? You are. You are the property manager if you don't have a property manager. Gary Keller says, for the new real estate agents, if you don't have an assistant, guess who is the assistant? You are. You are the assistant if you don't have an assistant. So when you get started as a single family rental portfolio and you are 1 or 2 or 3 houses in, you're going to be the property manager because you don't have enough units to hire one. Now, when you start getting the 3, 4, 5, 6 homes, you're going to start hopefully generating enough cash flow where you can hire a property manager who can deal with all the headache and deal with fixing the homes and everything else. And that's where you want to get to, because you have to put a value on your time. What is your time worth? Is your time have any value? And if you don't have a value on your time, then your time is worth nothing. And that's not real estate investing. You're real estate investing so you can get your time back. And that way you can go find more investments. You can go find more deals. That's the most effective use of your time, is finding more deals. So in the beginning, you're not going to be able to hire a property manager if you're looking at onesies and twosies, but you want to get to a point where you do have a full-time property manager, or you hire someone on your staff to manage those properties and you go find the next deal. Great question. My friend Israel says, great stuff, brother. By the way, 4-year investor started and I still do single family to fund my multifamily. Yes, absolutely. I love that. And I know you do. And you're doing a great job, by the way, Israel. That is a great way to get involved. So again, this goes back to our question on different strategies. You don't have to have one strategy. You can do the fix and flips, the single family flips, the new construction, and you can take those lump sum and then invest it in multifamily. And now let that just pay you every single month. That is a great strategy. And I think you're doing a great job. Thank you for sharing. That is awesome. So yeah, I think we covered a lot of topics here today. We're gonna go deeper into multifamily tomorrow. I don't really want to bog everybody down with all this information. I just this is supposed to be just a high level overview, but we'll leave it there for today. Um, also if you have anything that you want to discuss specifically or any other questions, just comment below and we'll check in on those. We'll definitely follow up on that. But tomorrow we'll go deeper into multifamily and discuss the tax incentives, the depreciation, and how that works, and also just how the cash flow and the compounding works with all of the multifamily investments. So thank you for being here with me today for day 3. It's always my pleasure to serve you. And as always, remember, you have greatness within you. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I can't wait to see you tomorrow, same time, 1 p.m. Central. And you have a wonderful, fantastic day. You have greatness within you. And I can't wait to see you soon.